Okay, in this video I'm going to talk you through the Autosport article that has emerged over the past few days, and it's titled this: Court decision shows Mercedes would have lost the 2021 Abu Dhabi F1 appeal. I will do a video going through the actual documents to totally obliterate the bullshit, but this is going to show that this is a bullshit article first. What you need to understand before I get into this is a reflection of the whole dynamics of Abu Dhabi 2021, the whole dynamics in play in the sport of Formula One. So you, the viewer, the person that is relatively ignorant, and that applies to us all, we're all relatively ignorant. We are reliant upon the information that we're given to find something out. I'm not a Formula One driver, I'm not involved in the sport, therefore, how do I learn more about the sport? Well, I'm reliant on looking at it, seeing what I can see when I watch it, and hearing about it, and hearing what people tell me about it, what they say, and what I read about it. We're all in the same boat in that regard. However, the difference is some of us have got a really enhanced bullshit detector, and some of us can see through the shit, whereas others will just believe everything that they're fed. And this is the problem. So this is what I'm going to go through and expose the level of bullshit within this report. Now, this report is by Autosport, okay? A media firm, Autosport. So what is seen as an authentic source of information for information about motorsport. People will read it and say, oh, this has taught me this about this situation. Okay, so this has been produced by an author, Adam Cooper. Is Adam Cooper authentic? Well, according to his bio, if I've got the right guy, which appears to be, he's been a freelance journalist. First F1 race as media in 1985, attended every Grand Prix since Japan 1994. Barcelona 2022 was his 500th Grand Prix. Oh, so he's experienced, he must know what he's talking about, and he's authentic. Have you ever explained to us the safety car rule and the purpose of that safety car rule, Adam Cooper? I've not seen it, okay? Not seen it. Not seen it. Hasn't happened. Not seen it. So he works for Autosport. Autosport is part of Motorsports Network. Motorsports Network is owned by GMF Capital. Okay, GMF Capital what are GMF Capital? An investment management platform. Oh, okay. Engaged in private equity and alternative investments across a range of asset classes. Okay, right. So we're interested in money. Okay, we like money, and GMF Capital is owned by Gary Fergal, or Fegel, or however you pronounce that. And Gary here is a billionaire. Oh, so it's another billionaire-owned media company, and they are interested in making money because they're an investment company, and these investment companies all have investments in one another, cross links. Okay, and they have investments in each other's investments, venture capitalist firms, hedge funds. They've all got cross links. They hedge their investments so that they don't all lose. You know, if some go down, they counter that with the fact that they've got investments elsewhere which are still doing all right. Okay, and if one of them investments does really well, the chances are they've all got a share of it, and if it's going really well, they're all benefiting from it. So they're not going to expose if that investment's corrupt. So, for example, if we've all got a few shares in Liberty Media and they've increased in value by 4.8 billion in the space of 12 months, we're not going to say anything about it, are we? This is the dynamic of in play, okay? This is the dynamic in play behind the scenes that you don't realise is underpinning all of these things that go on. Media is not concerned with informing you of what's really going on. They are concerned with making money. It's individuals like this that own media companies, and they will put out articles to you, such as the one that I'm just about to go through, and it's not going to tell you the truth, but they're going to inform you of something that you're going to believe, and some of you are going to like it. Some of you are going to go, oh, this proves it. And you'll see that it proves nothing. Now, law. What is law? Because this is before we get into the article. Let's look at what law is. Now, do you want to believe a university? Okay, or do you want to believe a billionaire? Now, how did the billionaire become a billionaire? Okay, was it lawful? We'll see. The rule of law is one of 4 fundamental values of British society. Then us Brits aren't the only people that are supposed to have law. Okay, it's a global thing. Okay, us Brits are actually corrupt as fuck, sadly, and we need to change that. But along with democracy, individual liberty and mutual respect and tolerance for those of different faiths and beliefs. Its value around the world is virtually incalculable, underpinning all societies and communities that work to create and maintain fairness, peace, and prosperity. In the United Kingdom, the rule of law can be traced back as far as 1215, with the signing of the Magna Carta. This historic document paved the way for the common law legal system as we know it in the 21st century, helping to enshrine the fundamental principles of equality and order that people have come to expect. Through the rule of law and its legal systems and services, citizens can reasonably expect access to a functioning justice system that upholds legal standards and applies to all citizens, entities, and institutions. Accountable, transparent governments and public institutions that are free of corruption or corrupt regimes and state powers that act solely in their own interests. A healthy democracy and political economy, fair trials, open and transparent lawmaking, respect for fundamental human rights, predictability and precedence, whether a case is in adjudication with arbitrators or in the Supreme Court. In fact, according to the World Justice Project, research shows that the rule of law correlates to higher economic growth, greater peace, less inequality, improved health and well-being outcomes, more education. Why do we need laws? Laws are the rules that regulate conduct and behaviour within society. They apply to all citizens and are enforceable by a governmental authority with penalties in place for people who contravene the law. Now, I could go on, but you'd suggest that law is good, beneficial to us all, every single one of us. Let's have a look at this document. Let's have a look at this article and we'll go through it. So Adam Cooper headlines the article to make you believe the following. Court decision, law, okay, courts applying law, shows Mercedes would have lost 2021 Abu Dhabi appeal. Is that what the decision shows? That's not what it shows, but I'll come to that. An obscure court decision. Well, straight away, the alarm bell should be ringing. If something doesn't make sense, is obscure, then we should be questioning, is it right? What is this court? Is the court corrupt? An obscure court decision regarding a GT race has indicated that the Mercedes Formula One team would have lost any appeal over the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix safety car controversy. A strange court decision. Straight away, the alarm bells should be ringing. What is this court? Is it a valid court? Who is the court? Have you explained this, Adam Cooper? Now, let me give you a basic example. We have rights as human beings. We have rights not to be lied to. For those of you that may have taken a bank loan, a credit card from a bank in the last 20 years, you may have been missold PPI. That's not PPE, that's the British government awarding contracts to the tune of millions and billions to their friends who set up companies to supply substandard, ineffective equipment to the NHS during COVID, and then these people were allowed to keep all their millions that they were given for supplying that. We're not talking about PPE, we're talking about PPI, payment protection insurance. People were missold that. An optional product that they were told they had to have, or the product did not cover their needs in any way. Mis-selling. It's like being told you're paying to watch a sport and it not being a sport. And that's a bit of mis-selling, isn't it? So what happened with the PPI scandal? The PPI scandal, a court ruled that people had been missold and therefore are entitled to compensation for that wrongdoing. Okay, who was the court? Oh, the court was the HSBC Bank and Barclays Bank. Their CEOs sat down together. One put a wig on and had a little hammer and became the judge. And the person that had the loan went and sat in front of the judge. They didn't do that. They paid a barrister who charged them £40,000 to argue that they had been missold it. And the banks, they paid another barrister £40,000. This is just for like a couple of hours work, to argue that the banks hadn't done that. And then the judge from the Barclays and HSBC banks decided to consider both sets of evidence and decide that no, the banks hadn't done anything wrong, nothing to see here, and this is our ruling and it's final. That's not how it worked, is it? That's not how it worked, people. How it works is you have a valid court that applies valid law. You don't have a corrupt court, your own governing body with its own court making its own rules. No, we're the banks. We've got our own court. We make our own rules. We've decided that we've not done anything wrong, and therefore we're not paying the people that we've missold PPI any compensation. No, we're the FIA. We adjudicate the rules of the sport. We've defrauded the entire world by lying to them, but we've decided that we're not going to punish ourselves and we're going to pretend that everything's okay and nobody can punish us. This is what you need to open your minds and understand. You need to start learning to see your way through the shit. It is quite simple, but you don't see your way through the shit because you keep getting presented with media bullshit that just doesn't tell you this, writes you an article, you read it, you take it on face value. A court decision, a court's decided something, let's have a read of this, that Mercedes would have lost. Oh, Mercedes would have lost. An obscure decision. Oh yeah, let's not worry about obscure decision. This can happen in the legal system, can't it? Because the legal system, we don't know about the legal system. Oh, what, this thing that's there to differentiate between right and wrong, where it considers the circumstances of a given situation and adjudicates what is right and what's wrong within the context of that situation. That's done something that's obscure. Well, why would it do that? Whose interests is it serving? What corruption is going on? But Adam here will tell us. Okay, updated the 5th of February. A picture of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, even though that this ruling is about something else. Following a similar disputed use of the safety car in an international GT Open event at Spielberg in September, the FIA's International Court of Appeal declared that it would be wrong to nullify the final result because of a mistake by the race director. So the FIA International Court decided that we're not gonna nullify it because the race director made a mistake. Who is this court? This is the bank's own court deciding it's not going to pay out PPI claims, isn't it? Oh, you don't get to make that decision. Oh, we do. We're our own court. We make our own minds up about whether we've done anything wrong or not. Okay. The case demonstrated the sort of thinking that the ICA would have pursued had Mercedes. So this case demonstrates that they'd have been equally corrupt had Mercedes approached that court to make a decision. We're not asking that court to make a decision. That court is clearly corrupt in what they've done. That's evidenceable. They are criminals. You don't go to a criminal and say, oh, criminal, you can be the judge here. Can you decide whether or not you've done something wrong? And they'll go, oh, yeah, we're the court, we're the judge. We've not done anything wrong. Because that's the truth of it. That is the simplicity of it. You might not like me saying this because I don't speak like Peter Windsor. And I don't project myself as having expertise. No, I speak quite plainly and make things as simplistic as possible. But that is the true nature of this. In the 2021 season finale, race director Michael Massey didn't follow the established protocols after a safety car period when he resumed the race with 1 lap to go. Okay, you've made that statement. Embellish that. Explain. What are those protocols? What are they for? What did it result in? Oh, we've got a video. We've got some adverts. Having pitted for fresh tyres, Max Verstappen was able to overtake Lewis Hamilton over the course of the final lap and win the World Championship. After the race, Mercedes lodged 2 protests. The first claimed that Verstappen had overtaken Hamilton in the safety car, and the second that Massey had not complied with the regulations, as not all the unlapped cars had been allowed to unlap themselves. After lengthy deliberations, both protests were dismissed. So, what detail have you given us? What are the regulations? What are they for? Why are they what they are? What are the sporting implications of those regulations? Why were they applied that way? What did they produce? What is right? What is wrong in that situation? But our author of this article hasn't said that. And the reader of this article doesn't think like that. They will just pick up the main message of this, which is what they want you to believe. Oh, Mercedes would have failed in their appeal. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. This is how it is. Mercedes then lodged a notice of intention to appeal, giving the team 96 hours to make a final call on whether or not to proceed, a period that pushed right up to the FIA Gala prize giving, where Verstappen was due to be awarded the World Championship trophy. So you're telling us the details of this case, are you? During that time, the FIA confirmed that it would set up a commission to fully review the events of the race, and with the prize giving looming, Mercedes eventually decided to not proceed with its appeal. Why is that? You've never explained that. Now, let me tell you why. Mercedes, by appealing, would have revealed to the entire world that this entire show was corrupt. all of those teams were complicit with this notion of a racing finish and didn't call out the fact that the rules were broken to produce that. That is a fraud. Nobody explains it to you that way, but that is the truth of it. You've got brainless people that think that that's acceptable. They don't understand that that constitutes sport fixing. That is a crime. Does the FIA court recognise that as a crime? Do the criminal court of the FIA acknowledge that that is sport fixing? That's a crime. Oh, our court doesn't think that. Our court of the FIA says, no, we are fine. We did everything fine. It was just a mistake. That is the nature of the court that we are dealing with here. So Mercedes did not appeal, because what they would have done had media had informed you, which they wouldn't have done, they'd have just vilified Lewis Hamilton and vilified Toto Wolff and painted another bullshit scenario, not this truth. Okay, had this have actually been exposed, it would have exposed the whole show of Formula One as being corrupt. Worse than wrestling. Not authentic sport, but actually a snake pit of lies, thieves, fraudsters that is actually just a global marketing roadshow for lots of expensive brands putting their money into sponsoring their brand on a car to get global exposure for their brand, where people perceive this to be glitz and glamour, whereby you've got these expensive brands that people aspire to, and this aspirational lifestyle that they're pinning them brands onto. Well, you too could rub shoulders with the rich and famous and aspire to paying £5,000 for this watch, which this brand is on this car of Formula One. Wow, everybody. The billionaire industry of Formula One. But have Mercedes exposed that this is just a corrupt show, those brands wouldn't want to be associated with that. All of those teams that had increased in value from £500 million on average per team to 1.9 billion in value due to this explosion that Liberty Media created by commercialising this sport, by artificially manipulating the season, by not applying the rules of the sport to facilitate one driver getting away with foul driving, not being penalised for it, so that it created a tight title battle. Because of that, it went down to the season finale, where 29%, it was a 29% increase in viewership. Okay, there you go. 29% higher than the same race in 2020. Growth. More eyes on the sport, more eyes on them brands. You can charge those sponsors more money for sponsoring you because they get greater exposure. Everyone's a winner. Cha-ching! I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. You see where this is going? Okay. But we're setting up a commission, everybody. We're going to, we the criminals, we're going to set up a commission. We're going to do an investigation, and we're going to explain to you exactly what went on. You'll see the report on that coming soon. In a statement, the team noted, together with Lewis, we have deliberated carefully over how to respond to the events at the season finale. We have always been guided by our love of this sport, and we believe that every competition should be won on merit. This is lovely, isn't it? Is this at all, in any way, talking about the court ruling? What went on? What was wrong with what went on? What's the purpose of those rules that were broken, and what it actually changed? None of that so far. This is the media. This is the story that they are giving you an education with. And what is it telling you? And the answer is nothing. In the race on Sunday, many felt, They feel. How does it make you feel? Us included, that the way things unfolded was not right. Okay? Some things are right, some things are wrong. You know, I don't care whether it makes you feel a certain way. It's binary. It's either right or it's wrong. But some people feel. That's an emotion. Okay? It's not the binary notion of right and wrong. And law is not there on how you feel. Law is to decide what is right and what is wrong in a given set of circumstances. The reason we protested the race result on Sunday was because the safety car regulations were applied in a new way. This is Autosport reporting something. Oh, we've invented a new game. Young William Webb Ellis has picked up the football and started running with it. Hurrah for William Webb Ellis. He's invented a new game. Yeah, you're fucking cheating, mate. That's not football, is it? Okay. The reason we protested the race result on Sunday was because the safety car regulations were applied in a new way that affected the race result. All right. So the rules have been broken and it's changed the result of the race. Yeah? What I've just said, is that quite accurate? Yeah. After Lewis had been in a commanding lead and on course to win the World Championship. Oh shit. Which means you've been deprived of accomplishing what you were certainly going to accomplish by the rules of what you were competing under being broken. That's not right, is it? Is there a clear right and is there a clear wrong? What would the law say? Would the law be able to work out whether there is a clear right and a clear wrong? I wonder. We appealed in the interest of sporting fairness, and we have since been in constructive dialogue with the FIA and F1 to create clarity for the future so that all competitors know the rules under which they are racing and how they will be enforced. How many of you, the public, have been informed of exactly what happens when that safety car needs to be deployed and why? How many of you have been clearly told that when a safety car is deployed in an F1 race, it obliterates all that has gone before it? It cancels that out. That's what happens. That is what happens. Watch. When you then restart that race, all of them competitors are effectively starting from scratch again. All of the advantages that they'd built up have been wiped out and you start that race from scratch again. Now, when you start a Grand Prix, do you start that Grand Prix in the order that they qualified in, first down to 20th? Yes, you do. You don't start that Grand Prix first, second, and then on the grid, let's put, shall we put 12th in the third place on the grid? And then shall we put 13th in the fourth place on the grid? And then shall we put third? No, you don't do that. Why don't you do that? Well, you can't block off third place from challenging them top two positions, can you? No, that's not how the sport works. What are you doing there? Well, you're blocking off fair sporting contest. The rules which we are competing to say you've got to qualify in this position, and the higher you qualify up sets your start position, and that then puts you in that position and allows you to challenge the competitor that's directly in front of you in that race. It's quite simple, isn't it? That's what we know to be the rules of the sport that govern how that sport is conducted so that it's fair for every competitor. And that's how you restart after a safety car situation. That's why the regulations involving the safety car are written the way they are written. Oh, but we, the governing body, we, the criminal court, We think that that they're open to interpretation. We're going to say that legally it can be something different to that. Thank you for your legal opinion, you criminals. Okay, but this is the media lying to you. Okay, this is the media just coming out with a load of fluff. Absolutely irrelevant fluff. Regarding the FIA investigation, the team added, "We will actively work with this commission to build a better F1 for every team and every fan who loves this sport as much as we do. We will hold the FIA accountable for this process and we hereby withdraw our appeal." Okay, thank you for that. This is words. This is lovely. It sounds great. Nothing is in any way. Yeah, I've been missold PPI, but I will believe in those banks. I will believe that they're doing the right thing. Yes, that they are acting with integrity. They've got my interests at heart. No, they don't want to become billionaires themselves and pay billions to their shareholders, do they? They care about you. That they're quite happy to just take your money, missell you their bullshit, and fuck you. No, but we believe in those banks. We believe in those. Maybe he's going to explain things to us now. The Austrian GT case also involved the safety car, although it unfolded slightly differently. Tell us, what's our man's name again? Adam, tell us. After a yellow flag period, the restart took place in the wrong order. Oh. Why has it got to be in the right order, Adam? Why has it got to be in the right order? And waiting. You, the journalist, you, the expert. I've been to 500 Grand Prix. I know about Formula One. Ooh, let me tell you. After the yellow flag period, the restart took place in the wrong order, following the checker flag. Why must it take place in the right order? What are the implications of that? Following the checkered flag, Team Moto Park submitted a protest asking for the result to be changed or nullified. That protest, as in Abu Dhabi, was rejected by the race stewards, this same body of corrupt individuals that would have realised there and then, oh, if we reverse this highlights how corrupt we were in Abu Dhabi. Hence, we must do the same thing as what we did in Abu Dhabi, as to not expose the fact that we were corrupt in Abu Dhabi. Oh, okay. Thank you for exposing that and explaining that to us, Adam. Adam being paid as a journalist, informing you, the masses, telling you exactly how it is, explaining to you so that you become a knowledgeable individual. Thanks for that, Adam. The team then appealed, and then that appeal was subsequently heard by the Court of the Spanish Federation. Right. Is this the bank making it up its own court to decide whether it's missold PPI? Is this that same court? Oh, the Spanish Federation. Oh, this is not the FIA court, no? Okay. Let's see what they say. A real court. Yeah? The judges took the opposite view. Oh, strange that, isn't it? Strange that the judges might take an opposing view to the criminal court, yeah? To the stewards, and cancelled the result. There you go. Cancelled the result. Now, I don't know the circumstances of what the safety car deployment was. I don't know if the outcome was inevitable. So what we know in Abu Dhabi was the fact that that race shouldn't have restarted. That race should have been a safety car finish, and hence you can't overtake, and therefore when you finish behind the safety car, the finishing order is the order of those cars that are lapping behind the safety car. Lewis Hamilton was in front and he completed that race distance. So it's inevitable, right? There is no other option here that he would have won that race. Okay, there's no argument about that. So if there was racing that still took place, then what you're saying is you've created a situation where you've resumed competition there, and then that competition that there's still uncertain outcomes in it, but you've done that unfairly. So how do you then work out who fairly won it? All right. So because we can't determine that necessarily, maybe we just cancel that event. All right. Then that is why it's most likely why I've not gone into the details of that case yet, and I will do. I can break that down, but ultimately this video is to demonstrate to you the bullshit of what you're being told. And this is the key. You're being told bullshit. All right? But they've basically, a real court has said that they've cancelled the result because actually when you look at what is supposed to happen and what is the right thing to do, what is the rights and wrongs of this situation, the FIA, you're wrong. So, we've got a nice picture. Right, another team, Optimum Motorsport, subsequently challenged that decision. Okay, we've got two arguing parties. So they will each pay their team of lawyers handsomely, and those team of lawyers will take your money and argue on your behalf, and then a court will decide what they want to decide. Lovely. Subsequently challenged that decision by taking the case to the International Court of Appeal. The matter was heard early last month, with the full result explanation emerging this week. In essence, the ICA backed the original judgment. So the International Court of Appeal, this is the FIA's International Court of Appeal. Which Court of Appeal is this? Whose interests are being paid for by this court? Who's corrupt within this court? What is this court? Is it a fair court? Is it a proper legal court? Is it a corrupt court? In essence, the ICA backed the original judgment of the stewards and cancelled the decision of the Spanish court, duly reinstating the race result as it was declared on the Sunday night. As a result, Optimum McLaren drivers Sam DeHaan and Charlie Fagg were declared champions instead of East Racing Audi pair Christopher Haas and Simon Riker, whatever. The ICA noted that the race director did commit a breach of regulations, but in an extensive explanation, so the race director breached the regulations. But in an extensive explanation that autosports aren't going to extend to us, that referenced previous cases and all applicable regulations, it declared that the court decides, therefore, that neither the stewards nor the NCA, the Spanish National Court, had the power to cancel the race. Oh, you, the British court, don't have the power to impose penalties on the banks that operate in Britain for us, the banks, mis-selling people something. I think you'll find they do. I think you'll find they do. And if you're corrupt, then what happens is you don't get to make your decisions like that. You get an external party that's going, we clearly need to take you over because you're fucking corrupt. You can't be fucking trusted to run yourself, making up your own arbitrary decisions for your own benefit. That's fucking crime. We've got laws to prevent that. But, autosport will just tell you the story and you'll just take from it what you will. We'll let the reader decide. But let us know what you think in the comments section. The ICA noted that there is a provision in the regulations for it to amend or cancel a race result. Oh, so you can cancel or amend the result of a race when the regulations haven't been followed. Yeah? And the race director did commit a breach of the regulation because this Spanish court ruled that 15.3 doesn't give the race director overriding authority over the use of the safety car. That's what that Spanish court ruled. A real court ruled that 15.3 and the FIA's explanation of 15.3 is bullshit. That is what they ruled, right? So they've called you out, FIA. But the FIA have gone back and go, oh no, well, our own court now, our Court of Appeal has said, no, we are right. And we are still going by our corruption. The ICCA noted that there is a provision in the regulations to amend or cancel a race result, but it also stressed such power must be used under very restrictive circumstances. What, when you want to do it your way, okay? So you can amend or cancel a race result. Oh, so the strap-on fanboys will go, oh, wow, we can get the FIA to cancel Abu Dhabi then. So what we'll do, we'll cancel Abu Dhabi, where that was a Grand Prix for a race, you know, for, let's say it's a 300 mile race, and one car was winning it for 280 miles, 285 miles. Oh, we'll cancel that, right? But what we will keep instead, we'll keep the Belgian parade, because the FIA, you know, the ICA, we're not going to cancel the Belgian parade where there was no race for no miles, but somebody won that. But we'll use that to make the drivers level on points. But because Max won that and got 5 extra points for winning the Belgian parade, we, the FIA and the ICA, we've got it at our discretion whether or not to cancel the Belgian parade and describe that as being a race win. We will keep that, and the strap-on fanboys will go, yay, we'll cancel Abu Dhabi and we will keep the Belgian parade, and Supermax is still champion. Yay. Wake up, motherfuckers, wake up. Oh, we've got the articles. Oh, we're going into the legal documents. Adding the principle of sporting fairness anchored under Article 1.1.1. Oh, the FIA are quoting that now. Since we've started quoting the FIA saying, oh, do you realise that you are accountable to this, FIA? Oh, we better acknowledge that we're accountable to this. And let's give our expression of the International Sporting Code, which describes this principle as fundamental, must be central in the decision of the court. Right, so you've noted that within your regulations, you can amend or cancel a result. You've mentioned that the race director committed a breach, right? And sporting fairness is fundamental. Yeah? What? Where's your explanation? What are you trying to say? You've said some words. So, because sporting fairness is fundamental, because we know that the race director has impacted sporting fairness by breaking the rules, we must now do something about that. Yeah, that would be normal, wouldn't it? That would be what a court would do. These are the facts. This is the situation. There has been a break of the rules. It has caused a different outcome, and therefore we cannot enable that outcome to stand. That's the right thing to do. No, but we, the FIA court, we acknowledge that it's fundamental sporting fairness, and we are in charge of being in charge of sporting fairness, and we acknowledge that the race was done, but it's not appropriate to change anything. On what grounds? Oh yeah, because that's our law. Thanks for that. Significantly, the ICA added that if it uses its specific power to annul or amend the classification following the breach committed by the race director, it would try and rectify an unfair situation by creating another unfair situation. Oh, yeah, I understand what you're saying, ICA. You know, I've just been burgled, okay? Somebody has just broken into my house and stolen my belongings. I need to go to a court and for a judge to rule that yes, somebody has broken into your house and stolen your belongings. What do you say, Judge? Well, me as the judge, yes, that's wrong. It's clearly wrong that somebody has broken into your house and stolen your belongings. But I think it would be unfair of me to then take your belongings that they stole from you off the person that's now got them. That's not very nice, is it, taking it off them? So I don't want to deal with your unfair situation by making it unfair to the person that's now got your belongings. Oh, is this the way law works? The ICA, the law, the corrupt law, the corrupt court that's not law, that is telling you it is law. Wake the fuck up, people. Wake the fuck up. Look at what these people are doing. Validating. They're not explaining the reality. The ICA concluded that on the basis of the balance of interests. Right, the balance of interests. Whose interests? Whose interests? Whose interests? Is it the interest of somebody that's winning, that's competing by the rules of the sport, doing their best to win an event that's been cheated out of winning? Is your decision fair to them? You have entered a sporting contest. You have given everything you've got, invested your time, your energy, your money, your dedication, your life into trying to win that. We, as the governing body, have deprived you from that by breaking our rules. But on the balance of interests, yeah, we're just going to leave it like that. We're quite happy with that. Is that law? You know, law, this thing here, why do we need laws? As described by a university, or are we gonna look at the FIA's version of law? Yeah. Which would have confirmed that the FIA stewards were correct in right, right, balance of interest. I've jumped there. The ICA concluded that on the basis of the balance of interest, the court thus decides that it must reinstate the classification of the race and must not use its specific power to annul or amend the classification. Why not? Right, whose balance of interests are those? Right, whose balance of interests are those? I wanna be a billionaire so fucking bad, buying all the shit I never had. I wanna be on the cover of Forbes magazine and be a fucking billionaire like him. On the balance of interests, right? Whoa, there is no guarantee that the ICA would have reached a similar conclusion after Abu Dhabi, which would have confirmed that the FIA stewards were correct in leaving the result as it stood on Sunday. The GT case does give a good indication of how they would tackle the case. It also suggests that any future appeal, should similar circumstances arise again in an F1 event, not be successful. Okay, everybody, what we're going to do, you know me, Fixed, right? F1 XED, the YouTuber that is exposing the bullshit, the crime of Abu Dhabi, right? Do you think that I'm going to appeal to the FIA, International Court of Appeal, the criminal court, and go, oh, please, FIA, will you decide whether you are corrupt or not? Yeah, no, we're not corrupt. Sorry, case dismissed, you lose. Do you think that's the court that I'm going to go to? Oh, dear me. Let me know what you think in the comments section, okay? See through the shit, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, see through the shit. Read that article for yourself. Once again, like every corrupt form of media, right? And this is not just Formula One media. Every corrupt form of media feeds you shit. Absolute shit. Look at this article. Look at this talking head, Adam Cooper, has written an article for you to believe that you think informs you about something, and the strap-on fanboy will go, yeah, that proves that you're not going to get anywhere with a court appeal because legally, because that's what you think, because you're thick as fuck, because you've conditioned. You believe what the media tell you. That's not the truth. Can't you see the damage that this is being done when we've got media that have the platform to influence so many minds that are lying to minds, not telling the truth, and are acting in the interests of, oh, what are we? Billionaires. Billionaires with investment companies investing in companies that go up in value to make billions. Liberty Media gone up in value to make billions. The FIA influenced by big business for their corruption to make billions. They are criminals. And you go, oh yeah, but their court said it's okay. So therefore it's not going to be overturned. This is what we have proper courts for, that apply proper law for crime. It's a crime. Sport fixing, fraud is a crime. You don't go to their little internal court and go, oh, we think you've done something wrong. Can you tell us whether you've done something wrong or not? No, we've not done anything wrong. Case dismissed. That's final. Doesn't work like that. When you trade, when you operate as a business, you are subject to rules and regulations of countries that you operate in. You're not just your own free entity that makes up your own rules and aren't accountable. That's not the way this shit works. But the way that they try to make it work is that you can only get justice if you can afford to get justice. Just like the post office inquiry, you can only afford to sue the post office if you've got 40 million quid to be able to identify that the post office are corrupt fuckers that fucked people's lives. You only get justice if you can afford justice. That's fucked up. And so, this is why I'm going to do this myself. Because I've not got 40 million quid, and I'm not going to put 40 million quid into the back of a mercenary fucking lawyer that's just not interested in law, that's only interested in becoming a fucking billionaire. I don't care. I will construct an argument if it makes me money. That's what lawyers are. Oh, legally. What is legal? What is legal? What is law? The difference between right and wrong in a given situation. Oh yeah, but you need to pay me 40 million pounds in legal fees in order to make that argument for you. No, you don't. You can just quite simply understand. You can have a brain and you can work out what's right or what's wrong and then counter any corrupt argument, which I think you'll find is what I do. Anyway, that'll do for this one. See you in a bit. Oh, before I do turn this one off, please like, subscribe, and share. Share this to everybody that you know to wake people up. It is about time people started waking up to the bullshit. All right? We are all being fed bullshit by mainstream media. Mainstream media that operates in the interests and is owned by fucking billionaires. They're not telling you the truth. They're conditioning you to think, oh yeah, this is how it is, isn't it? This is just how it is. and he owns the media company, and he owns the journalist, the expert of Formula One, that I've been to 500 Grand Prix, so I know, and therefore you read what I tell you, and I will tell you about this, that the court will show that Mercedes would have lost. And when you read this, you will understand all the intricacies of what's going on. No, you won't understand fuck all from that, because it tells you nothing. But what people will take away from it is, yeah, Mercedes would have lost. Ha ha, Verstappen wins. Yeah, even if we'd have gone to court, we'd have lost. Case closed, move on. I wonder who wants that. I wonder who wants that. I wanna be a billionaire, so fucking bad. Yeah, that's what they want. They don't want law. They don't want law, which is for everybody. The benefit of everybody for less inequality, right? Improved everything, more education, fair trials, respect for fundamental human rights. Who do we believe? Proper education establishment. Proper education establishment. Or are we being educated by the media? Take your pick. Some of us kind of know where to go looking. We know where to go looking for our education, and we know what's relevant and we know what's not. You know, I don't know. Some people might have had an education themselves. They might have a degree. Oh, I don't know. Some might. They might be able to. The likes of Peter Windsor, who will articulate himself like that. Of course, Peter will have a degree and expertise, but not me. No, I wouldn't have any kind of degree and qualifications in education or engineering or maths or sport. I've nothing. I know fuck all. I know fuck all. I'm just a nobody. Yeah. So, anyway, like and subscribe. Oh, it's just lawyers. Sorry, just lawyers. They're the only ones with degrees. They're the only ones with the intelligence to know what's right or wrong. They're the only ones with an education, because the rest of us, we didn't spend time at university doing, the same level of education, just a different subject. So it doesn't mean that we're incapable of understanding shit. Yeah. No, we've got to pay you £40 million for you to tell us how it is. Thanks for that. The legal system. Anyway, see you next time. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and wake the fuck up. See you in a bit.